X18363 here, and this is part 12 of my Dark Messiah Might and Magic playthrough with narration on hard difficulty. Chapter 5, Temple of the Spider, video 5 out of 6 for this level. So you may recall, just at the end of the last video, I was kind of talking about, well, it's not really a secret area, but it's kind of a chest filled up with goodies that is very difficult to get to. So I'm going to show you how to get to it, and even then I still almost make a meal of it. But as soon as you move down this room, the building's basically going to split, and if you stand there for too long, the building's just going to collapse and you fall to your death. So you shoot a whole series of rope bows. Try not to miss them as you're jumping between them. And there's a whole bunch of scrolls and stuff there, and a potion if you need it. You can see the building's all cracked. So yeah, if you hang about there too long, yeah.
There's been fighting here, but who? Why? So, this is where Menelag's expedition made its last stand. I'll bet they're the ones who locked the elevators to keep the orcs out.
That little journal thing that you need to pick up there to sort of triggers Anna's little speech there. Usually it's sitting right where I picked it up in that video there. Occasionally it can sit in a different corner of the room. I don't really know why that is.
Do you think the orcs will be keeping it up?
Orcs aren't stupid. Give it a try.
Seems to be a tiny bit of a glitch, just sometimes it can switch positions, but it'll always be in that room somewhere. And once you've obviously fixed that elevator, don't just immediately run back down. You'll come along to this little blacksmith room. We can craft ourselves another sword. You may remember chapter 2 or 3 we created ourselves the longsword. And while we were on Menelag's ship, chapter 4, we were clearing that out from the enemies, we picked up ourselves a little Earthfire bar, special type of metal that's in the game, and from that we can craft ourselves the Earthfire shield. Sorry, the Earthfire sword. I do apologise. And there you go. The Earthfire sword does require strength level 2 to be able to use it, but I probably will use it quite fairly extensively a bit later on in the game. But I like to just create it now while I've got a chance. There are other opportunities to create it. There is another blacksmith part available a bit later in the game, but I like to just do it now, just get it done. And basically now, yeah, if this may look familiar, we've basically just kind of got to go back the way we came, back to the elevator that was previously not working. And you may also remember I kind of sabotaged the wee rope bridge so that the spawn of enemies that I triggered couldn't follow me across. Now we do have to deal with those enemies now. As I was playing through this, I actually completely forgot that they were there, and I almost ran pretty much head first straight into them. As you can see, I'm sprinting away up here, and yeah, I kind of forget they're there. He almost kills me.
Stranger, not get away.
in the next video, I think there's kind of a bit of a boss fight coming up against the chief orc. We've seen him right at the start of the level, just as we arrived on the island. The chief orc, Aratok. He presents himself as a bit of a boss fight, and if you don't know what you're doing, he can be a bugger to kill. There is kind of a secret area just right in here.
I wish they decorated something other than spiders.
Why a spider anyway?
It's another aspect of Asha, the Dragon of Order. A very literal interpretation, honestly.
So that was the Bow of Winter's Breath that I picked up there. I don't actually use it because I don't like it, but it was just to kind of show you that it's there. It doesn't have a very good damage rating, and yeah, I mean, you fire at an enemy, it'll freeze them for a few seconds, but
this takes us to the crystal chamber.
Not very good.
Once you restore the Shantiri crystal to its place, the skull will be ours, and all of Ashan with it. Fenrig would be so impressed with what you've done.
Who built this place?
Servants of the Seventh Dragon. They were clever with their hands and had 1,000 years to do it.
So why are orcs guarding it?
I guess that they took it over. They came to the islands after the Wars of Blood, and their shaman probably sensed the power of the temple. More spiders! Ugh, disgusting things. No wonder the necromancers like them.
So yeah, it kind of takes me a little minute or two to bypass this, but these spiders are to an extent they're kind of unavoidable. There is a wee kind of secret area that I like to get to, but you need to spend a lot of time firing off rope bows and stuff. It'd be kind of difficult to do that with these spiders here, so I kind of have to just spend a wee minute or two. Yeah, that spider did just jump out the window there. Suicidal. So, you know, I kind of just spend a little minute or two just kind of using the charm spell, let the two of them fight it out. They certainly do take their sweet time about it. Although, interestingly, if you decide to invest your points into... If you've invested your points into strength at this point in the game, you can now use the Earthfire swords against spiders, because that is very effective against creatures that are weak to fire. Spiders are obviously very vulnerable to fire, so the Earthfire sword is a pretty good alternative. This spider kind of glitched in me a wee bit here. I mean, just kind of watch what happens here. It's like he sort of dissolves into the floor, and you can just see his legs kind of sticking out. You'll see it in a second. He just sinks. See, there you go. And I'm trying to hit this little spider, and it looks like he's still following me around the room. Weird glitch. I get him eventually though. I think the staff's quite a clunky weapon. All this twirling around seems a bit unnecessary sometimes, but... so yeah, you know, the Earthfire sword's quite a good alternative. I think that's, you know, a damage rating of 12 against the enemies vulnerable to fire, otherwise it's just 6. Staff of Firelord's a good alternative, or, you know, just set some fire traps, stuff like that. So this was kind of more recently discovered secret area. This took me a few playthroughs to realise that with a few well-placed bows you can actually climb up to a little building that's higher up. There isn't any other way to get to this building. You don't want to stay in that rope for too long, by the way. That first one there, because it falls down eventually. There it goes. So you want to fire off a fresh rope, climb up. Inside there's the Ring of Fire Protection, which increases your protection from fire-based attacks. Not a ring that I'll use all that often, but it's still nice to have. There's also the Soul Reaver staff, which is kind of meant for magic-based characters. basically, as you deal damage to enemies with this staff, you'll just see it sitting in the corner here on the left. Yeah, that's it there. I don't pick it up because I don't have the skill to use it, but as I understand, as you deal damage to enemies, you absorb their mana, their magic. So I would imagine if you wanted to play it as an all-out mage character, that staff would probably be essential. Because otherwise, obviously, you're going to be casting a lot of spells, draining your magicka quite a lot, or your mana. But that staff basically absorbs enemies' mana, so I would imagine that would be a very, very useful weapon to have. But that's it for now, so see you next time.